Central Florida is the undisputed theme park capital of the world, and with so many theme parks comes a huge assortment of world-class roller coasters too. Here's my top 10 roller coasters in Florida that thrill seekers won't want to miss. Number 10. Cobra's Curse, Busch Gardens. Brand new for 2016, Cobra's Curse is a one-of-a-kind, family-friendly roller coaster with an elevator lift to the top of a 70-foot hill where riders will have an up-close encounter with Venomous, the Snake King. While Cobra's Curse doesn't have any huge drops or loops, it does feature cars that are allowed to spin freely and uncontrollably along its twisting, winding steel track. So you might want to think about riding this one before you've had lunch. Number 9. Mako at SeaWorld. The newest roller coaster in the Orlando area is also the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the Orlando area. Mako, a steel hypercoaster, features a 200-foot first drop that takes riders to speeds of over 70 miles per hour before going into an overbank turn and plunging over 3 stomach-dropping airtime hills. Number 8. The Incredible Hulk, Universal's Islands of Adventure. Instead of wasting precious seconds pulling riders up along a lift hill, the Incredible Hulk just launches riders like they're being shot out of a cannon into a series of pretzel loops and corkscrews over the lagoon below. Just like its namesake, the Hulk has built up a reputation of beating people up during an intense and unforgiving ride that could be described as punishing and violent. However, the Hulk has gone through a major refurbishment and now brings a lot less Hulk smash to riders' skulls, with a smoother ride through its 7 inversions. Number 7. Kraken, SeaWorld. Kraken was a game changer for SeaWorld when it first opened back in 2000 and marked one of SeaWorld's first big steps into morphing from a strictly marine zoological park into a serious thrill ride destination. Kraken is a floorless steel monster with a giant first drop and 7 inversions. With nothing in front of you but your feet dangling over the track, the front seat on Kraken is positively exhilarating. It might be the single most breathtaking ride experience in all of Orlando. Number 6. Revenge of the Mummy, Universal Studios. The Mummy film franchise and Brendan Fraser's career may no longer be relevant anymore, but this thrilling indoor roller coaster still holds up. Revenge of the Mummy borrows the dark ride elements from Disney's Space Mountain and turns it into a much more intense, horror-themed experience with fire effects, jump scares, and unexpected drops and turns. It feels like riding through an Iron Maiden album cover come to life. Number 5. Expedition Everest, Animal Kingdom. At a cost of $100 million, Expedition Everest is the most expensive roller coaster ever built. 6 years of planning and construction went into creating this coaster that's set inside the tallest artificial mountain in the world. Expedition Everest could be described as Big Thunder Mountain on steroids, with a bit of Matterhorn thrown in, and it's just a blast to ride with lots of Himalayan surprises waiting inside. Number 4. Coastersaurus, Legoland. Coastersaurus is one of only 33 roller coasters in the entire world to be awarded the coveted Classic Coaster status by the American Coaster Enthusiasts. To be named an Ace Classic Coaster, the ride must meet a number of criteria that retain the experience of a classic wooden coaster. First of all, it must be constructed out of wood. It must use traditional lap bars that allow the rider to experience airtime. Riders must be allowed to slide from side to side in their seats, and there must be no headrests so that riders can see the upcoming hills and turns. Coastersaurus meets all of these, the only roller coaster in Florida to do so. In Central Florida's landscape of rides that aim to outdo and outdazzle each other with high-tech wizardry, Legoland keeps it classic with this brand of old-school fun. Number 3. Cheetah Hunt, Busch Gardens. Cheetah Hunt is a steel launch coaster with a design that was inspired by cheetahs and how they run and hunt. Riders are launched from the loading station to a top speed of 60 miles per hour, just like a cheetah, before climbing a 102-foot hill that includes a twisting figure-8 element. From there, Cheetah Hunt takes riders diving and weaving through canyons, airtime hills, and a heartline roll, all while remaining as smooth as melted butter. What makes Cheetah Hunt especially unique is that it stays low to the ground for much of the ride, relying on its relentless speed and twisting turns for its thrills. Number 2. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, Universal Studios. This red steel giant towers over Universal Studios and is one of the first rides you'll see when entering the park. From the ground, this one looks like a relatively standard tall steel coaster with a straight up and down first drop. But climb aboard and you'll find a digital display in your lap bar that lets you select from a list of 30 different songs to blast from the speakers built into the headrest. This gives every rider a unique individual experience for each ride. There's just something special about going down that 167-foot first drop while rocking out to Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Before we get to our top pick, let's talk about one honorable mention in this category: Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, Universal Studios. This one was tricky and hard to categorize. Yes, it's a train that rides along a track, and yeah, it has a small drop to get things going, but it would be more accurate to label Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts as a dark ride, with a few roller coaster elements thrown in. After that initial drop into the caverns below, riders will experience the most immersive 3D attraction on the planet, in an adventure that takes them face to face with dragons, trolls, and even Voldemort himself. The ride queue theming that takes you on a tour through Gringotts Bank is spectacular, and even makes waiting in line part of the fun. Number 1. Space Mountain at the Magic Kingdom. A ride that was far ahead of its time when it first opened, and over 40 years later, this classic still continues to thrill visitors to the Magic Kingdom today. It's a simple idea perfectly executed. Take what would otherwise probably be a pretty tame coaster, but put it in pitch black darkness so that riders have no idea what's coming at them, and you have a timeless classic. So many of us can remember our very first time on Space Mountain as kids. The nervousness of not knowing what to expect, and then that adrenaline rush of having conquered it. Much more than just a roller coaster, Space Mountain is an example of a cultural experience that's been shared by generations. So that's my top 10 roller coasters in Florida. What are your favorites? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.